pocket guide to the Empire and its environs. Skyrim. Skyrim, also known as the Old Kingdom or the Fatherland, was the first region of Tamriel settled by humans. The hardy, brave, warlike Nords, whose descendants still occupy this rugged land, and, although perhaps somewhat reduced from their legendary renown of their forebears of old, the Nords of the pure blood still unquestionably surpass the mixed races. Exactly when the Nords first crossed the ice-choked Sea of Ghosts from Atmora, their original homeland, is uncertain. As recorded in the Song of Return, Ysgramor and his family first landed in Tamriel at Highrock Head, at the extreme northern tip of Skyrim's Broken Cape. Fleeing civil war in Atmora, then rather warmer than at present, as it seems to have supported a substantial population, these first settlers named the land Merith, after the elves that roamed the untamed wilderness, which then covered the whole of Tamriel. For a time, relations between men and elves were harmonious, and the Nords throve in the new land, summoning more of their kin from the north to build the city of Cyrodiil, the new site of which has recently been located by Imperial archaeologists in the vicinity of modern Winterhold. But the elves saw that the vital young race would soon surpass their stagnant culture, if left unchecked, and fell upon the unsuspecting Nords in the infamous Night of Tears. Cyrodiil was burned, and only Ysgramor and 2 of his sons fought free of the carnage and escaped to Atmora. The elves, however, had reckoned without the indomitable spirit of the Nords. Gathering his legendary 500 companions, whose names are still recited every 13th of Sun's Dawn at the feast, and laying the foundations of the first human empire. It may be that the exploits of the near mythical Ysgramor conflate the reigns of several early Nord kings, as the elves were not finally driven from the present boundaries of Skyrim until the reign of King Harald, the 13th of Ysgramor's line, at the dawn of recorded history. King Harald is also remembered for being the first king to relinquish all holdings in Atmora. The Nords of Skyrim were now a separate people, whose faces were turned firmly towards their destiny, the conquest of the vast new land of Tamriel. Indeed, the history of the Nords is the history of humans in Tamriel. All the human races, with the exception of the Redguards, are descended from Nordic stock, although in some, the ancient blood admittedly runs thin. King Vrag the Gifted began the expansion that led to the first empire of the Nords. Within a span of 50 years, Skyrim ruled all of northern Tamriel, including present-day Highrock, a deep stretch of the Nibelheim Valley, and the whole of Morrowwind. The conquest of Morrowwind was one of the epic clashes of the First Era, when ensued many a desperate contest between Nord and Dark Elf in the hills and glades of that dire kingdom, still recalled by the songs in the alehouses of Skyrim. The system of succession in the First Empire is worthy of note, as it proved in the end to be the Empire's undoing. By the early years of the First Empire, Skyrim was already divided into holds, then ruled by a patchwork of clan heads, kings, and councils, or moots, all of which paid fealty to the King of Skyrim. During the exceptionally long reign of King Harald, who died at 108 years of age and outlived all but 3 of his sons, a moot was created, made up of representatives from each hold, to choose the next king from qualified members of the royal family. Over the years, the moot became permanent and acquired an increasing amount of power. By the reign of King Borgus, the last of the Ysgramor dynasty, the moot had become partisan and ineffective. Upon the murder of King Borgus by the Wild Hunt, the moot's failure to appoint the obvious and capable Jarl Hans of Winterhold sparked the disastrous Skyrim War of Secession, during which Skyrim lost control of its territories in Highrock, Morrowind, and Cyrodiil, never to regain them again. The war was finally concluded in the First Era 420 with the Pact of Chieftains. Henceforth the moot was convened only when a king died without direct heirs, and it has fulfilled this more limited role admirably. It has only been called upon 3 times in the intervening millennia, and the Skyrim succession has never again been disputed on the field of battle. And so concludes part 2 of A Pocket Guide to the Empire and its Environs on Skyrim, the province of the Nords. Part 3 will be on the Imperial province of Cyrodiil, the province of the Imperials.